What's up, guys? This is your host, Kowalski of Humming Pod. Thank you so much for tapping in with us. I just wanted to come on here and bring a special message to you guys like I always do. You know, these things are really important to me, and it's very important to me that you guys get the full scope. Not like a piece of it, but the whole thing. Not just like the parts that I want to give you, but the real, the raw, the trueness of science. If you don't know, the reason why this is Humming Pod is because we originated as Humans of the Ocean Science Podcast. And I just shrunk the name down and kept it more convenient. So now it's just Humming Pod. It's more cool, more oral, more oral. However you want to, spill it. At the end of the day, I love doing what I do, and I continue to do what I do because it brings clarity, it brings community, it brings love, joy, sharing the gospel, keeping those gospel opportunities open. And I want you guys to be a part of this with me as I walk in this journey. As you can see right beside me, though, I have a video that is depicting at the moment Jonathan Majors. And we're going to jump in right here. Even though it's a few things that we did miss out, I'll give you the perspective of what's going on, where the conversation is coming from, so you can see where it's headed. I want y'all to know, we do have a very special podcast that has been pending for quite a little while. Not too long, but a little while. It's a podcast about a book called Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell. It's been pending, and I found this video, which was recently done, very relating to why I want to bring that into a scope of what we're studying as a book club. Because you guys know, Humans of the Ocean Science Podcast was Humans of the Ocean Science Book Club, and it still is the book club. The book club is what's growing. If you have not seen on Instagram, please go check us out. We have a new Instagram account just for the book club coming soon. It's already created, but we got more things that's going to be pressed through it. Pulsating Books. And if you want to get more information about Pulsating Books, email us at pulsatingbooks@gmail.com. And we can have a little chat, a little dialogue. We can talk. We can explore some books that we want to talk about. And we can go deeper. Pulsating Books revolves around things like comics, specific authors, plays. We have like novels, like highlighting novels, highlighting habits and different things that go on across the dialogue and how things grow. And we're going to be doing all types of wonderful things according to Pulsating Books. We're going to be talking to individuals who may not seem to have a perspective about literature, but know literature. We're going to talk about business in certain ways. We're going to talk about finance in certain ways. We're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about all these wonderful things. But right now, I want you guys to get a deep scope of what it looks like when black men come together and talk about the things that we experience. So if you do have time, make sure you go back, watch the first 19 minutes of this video, which will be tagged in the link, and then catch up. 1919 is where I paused it at. So that's what we're going to, that's where I'm going to start. But let me give you a little bit of why I want to talk about Sibo Campbell's book here, which is Sky Full of Elephants by Sibo Campbell, novel. It's this picture here that we see depicts a profiled image, a side profile of a head, and it has a cloud. It has clouds. It has a street. It has beautiful scenery like a horizon, and on the outside of it, it has like lightning bolts going to the head. So we're looking at it like, okay, these lightning bolts represent a moment happening, a jolt into the horizon moment, like look at where we're headed, and the jolts of something happens. Maybe, you see? And so Sibo does a wonderful job of beginning the book. They killed themselves. All of them. You see? And he starts it and he flows from that message. They killed themselves. All of them. And you're wondering, who? When? Where? Killed themselves. All of them. They walked right into the water. You see? I have poems about water. I have poems about white people, black people, Mexican people. I have poems about men, women. I have poems about positivity, depression, love, death, anger, confusion, frustration, aloneness. I have poems about all these things. Sibo does a wonderful job of bringing those things into this work. And that is where I wanted you guys to see that there is a correlation of black mentality, black mindset. According to this Western society, we find ourselves confused within. In this video from Dennis, like NLE Chopper, Jonathan Majors, Kirk Franklin, Ray J, Dr. His last name is like Barnett, and then we have like Kev on stage, and then we of course got the wonderful food that they're enjoying as they conversate. We notice like the vulnerability of the answers, and we will notice like that they speak about certain things in unique ways because these men are unique individuals on unique journeys in unique lifestyles. And Kirk Franklin also earlier mentioned that he specifically had these guys with creative abilities on this moment so that these creative moments would spark out. This is a mental health like YouTube video, like his video audience is men rooted in highlighting black mental health as men. So guys can feel like you are not alone in this. We experience similar things. We gotta do this together. Community is important. This is a society and culture podcast. You know, this is what I built the whole podcast based on. Society. Bringing clarity to our viewpoints. This is the truth. Now listen. Let us go ahead and tap in for a little bit as we listen in and watch here. And I'll try not to talk over the guys as they speak.
And having an event happen to you and getting arrested, or losing a job, or having to rejigger you think that's the thing that gets you, but it's usually, I found for myself, it was something way back that kind of had my mind in a certain space. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, drug overdose. Yep. Wow. Check in a certain space. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, drug overdose. Yep. Damn near lived on a roof. Just plenty of. I don't even smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? Plenty of cigarettes and whiskey. I actually wrote a letter. Yeah. I've done the whole thing and been there.
Just the courage you have at this table, though, man. Just the courage.
It's not. It's precious, right? Like, life is precious, and it's deep, but there is a level of like, I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like I've reached a point now where it's like, I really want to care. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't care.
But the darkness we have to go through as black men sometimes to get to that light.
But see, that's the thing you said.
That's what pisses me off.
You said this at the top. We as black men have to talk about mental health, right? Like, I agree. But we are all born into a society in which our narrative, right? Our narrative as black men, we're born into a narrative that puts us downhill. And then you end up having to pretend that you're somebody that you're not to get through certain doors that I got through, right? You don't get through an Ivy League door. Behaving a certain way, thinking a certain way, or letting people know you think a certain way. That didn't happen.
I think as a black man, we have to know we are at war.
And you know,
every day we wake up.
Do you two, as young men, do you feel the pressure as men, or do you feel the pressure as young? Like, is the pressure that you feel being connected as being a black man, or just you just feel it in general?
I don't feel pressure. I feel honored. You know what I'm saying? I feel honored. Because I'm a firm believer when that pressure is being formed, that's what creates the diamonds. You know what I'm saying?
Have you always been there?
I have not always been there, but I just recently came to that space, and now I understand why I had to go through it.
Let me ask you this, NLE. What led you to discovering that it was an honor to feel the pressure?
And I also want to hear from Ray J too, as a young gun too.
What led me to discovering what made me feel it was an honor is because our job as a black man is to go through the obstacles to be able to uplift the other people that have not overcame the obstacles. And it's still a, you know, it's a war. We win one battle and then we move on to the next. We climb one mountain and then we gotta go to the next. But service to others is one of the most important things, you know, and even a wise man once said, to piggyback off Jonathan, service to others is what pays our rent in heaven. Heaven can be accomplished right here.
Who's been teaching you? What you been reading? What you been doing? This because how old are you? 20?
I'm 22 too.
How do you handle the pressure of life? Do you feel it as a black man having that experience?
The pressures, you know, it's not. It's deep. The industry's deep. It's a fucked up place to be, you know what I'm saying? Because, well, if you plan on the outskirts like us, it's not fucked up because, like he said, when he said, I don't care, like, I really don't give a fuck, right? Excuse me, I'm sorry, you're a man of God.
You can be you.
Okay.
Be yourself, King.
Cursed in front of Kirk.
King,
That's
King.
not okay.
King. Be yourself.
Like,
when did you come?
Whoa.
It's fine. It's
Bro,
fine.
I'm going to hell.
No, you're not
God
going to
damn it.
No, you're not.
That was crazy. First off,
Listen to-
I want to apologize to the table.
No.
That wasn't okay.
Right. I have a question for you. When did you get to that place where you no longer care?
I mean, I no longer care when I just, like, understood, like, that the manifested is different from trying. You know what I'm saying? And I've never been the type of person I want to go on an audition or sell myself. So I just took the long line, like the line that was like real long. I'd rather take that than to be who I'm not.
I got you.
And it's like I could be squeaky clean and be successful, and I'm real miserable. Like at that point, because you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like I'd rather be on the outskirts because like you can't really make a mistake if you don't work for nobody.
I get you.
You can only make a mistake in your mind to where you like, fuck, I messed up. And that's God telling you like you did because you feel bad. But if you don't feel bad, then you ain't messed up. If your perception is right.
If you're
like
conscious of it.
So if you go to war, we go to war. It's all messed up. Kids are dying in every country. So the war is fucked up for everybody. But now you're starting to figure out what's best for the family or the country, right? So you're going to ride with America or wherever you're from, but it's all still messed up, and it's all still politics, whether it's Democrat, Republican, blood, crip, black, white, like.
And you can only imagine just the kind of pressure that it is being young and famous. And Kev, you are now experiencing a level of fame in your own life that has kind of caught you off guard. When you hear these young, intelligent young black men who I'm so honored to have at the table, is because we'll never know their level of pain. We'll never know their level of anxiety and stress that they have to deal with because we didn't have all of this BS and we didn't have all of that where you have to live your whole life in front of people. I mean, how do you process these stress and pressures of trying to manage it all and not losing it?
Yeah, I think it's tough, to be honest. I think Kev on stage is I've been describing it lately as the performative version of Kevin, you know, and I think you think you want something until it starts to happen, right? And I think one thing that I probably struggle with the most is like, for a long time I'm creating on the internet and I'm just this guy, you know what I mean? I can make fun of everybody that everybody else is making fun of. And then all of a sudden it's like, now when you say something, this is now somebody's podcast topic, or you're on the Shade Room, or you're trending on TikTok or Twitter or whatever. And I'm like, bro, what? And, you know, when the internet is after you, I think you know it's not the real world and it's not everybody, but for some reason it feels like everybody.
Yes.
It feels like,
Yes.
there was a time I was getting dragged. They were finding every one of my emails. They was like, and I'm just like, bro, you know, just put your phone away. But it's like, it feels like the whole world is like
Yes.
on you.
Same
You know what I
people
mean?
to see you and shake your hand though and congratulate you.
And then that's the
You
other
wanna
thing
know
that happened.
something? I've never seen nor heard the same magnitude of hate that I receive online.
Never.
Wow.
And the few times I've ever been getting dragged online, if I happen to have a show or something and I'm down the street, it's like, oh, Kev, what up, baby? Oh, love this from you. How the kids? How the wife? So it's like, it's incongruent with how you feel and what you feel like is happening. But I think two things are true. And I think for me, because so much of my job is the internet, it's kind of hard to avoid. You know what I mean? Because that's how I paid my bills, feed my family, blase, blase. But it does start to weigh on you. And I don't think, that's not a thing that, when I worked at the bank, that would never happen. You know what I mean? It's just, I go to work, I do my job, I go home. That could never happen. But now.
All right, so check this. So, if you guys have not seen the movie with Denzel Washington, it's a Spike Lee joint, specifically. It's a movie called Highest to Lowest. And if I should give me a little grace, how the internet it gets in your head a bit, because it is a real reality. People say, "Oh, that's fake. All of the internet stuff is fake," until you are the main topic.
Now it's, you know, you start to feel like, I don't want to say nothing. I just don't want to say nothing wrong, because whatever I say ends up being wrong.
Doc, I have a question for you, Doc. And I want y'all to also ask each other questions.
I got a question.
Yes. Oh, no, and I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
Just real quick, before we move on, pressure, and then you also said celebrity, famous. I just think one thing we always have to realize is that we're not famous, we are not celebrities. Our anointment comes from a higher power. So once we are anointed, we're supposed to use it in a certain manner. You know, we go back to Jesus. He was anointed, but he was crucified in the span of being anointed. People didn't like him.
How old are you?
I do feel like once we start to separate the saying famous and celebrity,
But I
just
do
put
think
in
that's-
that you anointed. Bro.
No, I believe
Yeah.
that. But I also think we are celebrities and famous. Like, I don't think, because I rejected that. I'm like, bro, I'm not famous. I'm not no celebrity, bro. We
just want to do what we do.
Yeah, I'm just making videos on the internet, bro. I'm not like.
But it's deeper, it's bigger than that, because it's somebody watching you that does not look at you like you just who. When you look in the mirror, you see Kev, you see who you are. But when someone else look at you, they see something that they want to be.
That's why I feel like I'm famous or a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those people don't know me for me.
But they see God's hands on you. That's
No,
all
for
I'm-
sure.
They see the. I think
I'm
thing is-
separating those two.
Yeah,
I think God's hand on my life, plan on my life is one thing.
Yes, sir.
And then the way the world sees me, or you know how I'm perceived, is a separate thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question before we got too far. Both of y'all brothers shared, you shared what you almost did and you did not. I'm curious what brought you out of that. Like, how did you, what was your thought process to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to live. You know what I mean? Like, how did you, because I imagine those things don't just magically go away, and that thought might be in the back of your mind. Like, how do you process, how do you pull out of that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kev. I think for me, NLE and I was talking about it earlier, right? He was talking about how his daughter, right, your daughter, right, has given him a reason to live. And I think for me, having an encounter with God after I survived, because most people don't survive the drug overdose. I mean, the stuff that I took. And to, man, some of everything, man. So my football injury was a nerve damage injury that I had to my pudendal nerve down the lower part of my back. It was so damaged that I'm just being vulnerable. I couldn't get an erection. at 25 years old.
Wow. Yes, sir.
So it was either do open back surgery or to try some rehab from a doctor that I met in Houston, who was the only doctor that can help with the nerve damage without surgery. So I was on Vicodin, codeine, I was on all that stuff for the pain. So I fell at practice one day on my tailbone and woke up, it was like temporary paralysis, couldn't move, lower extremity. So I OD'd on all of that along with other painkillers. Like for me, it was the internal pain of just the daddy wounds and all of those different things, in which I've talked about, you know, on stage, is watching a father pastor, but wanting him to be a father to me as his only son. And that for me was so difficult because my brain at the time was trying to rationalize, how can you speak into them and not speak into me? So the 31-year-old Jay that attempted suicide just wanted daddy to say, son, I got you, and it's okay. And it was just really, Kev, just really having to reconcile, which took time, that maybe he couldn't give me what he didn't have because it wasn't given to him. Yeah. Because you give what you have. Yeah. That's beautiful. You understand that, and understanding that, man, was painful because I also had to accept what I was never going to get.
But it gave you peace. Wow.
Well, peace came later. It came later because until you can reconcile that thing, you can't have peace.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was also how my parents divorced, because football, the helmet was a mask for me. I could put that helmet on and be whoever I wanted to be. And for 60 minutes, I can just release all the rage, the anger. And I'll never forget my coach.
Too, like,
physically.
Football is very
physical.
I can literally hit you and hurt
Hit you, yeah. And I remember my coach asking me, he said, what are you thinking about when you're out there? Kirk, this is no lie. I never saw an opponent's eyes. I always saw my father's face. Wow. And for me, that pain drove me. But here's the issue, that when we don't have a place where we can release that pain, we begin to harm ourselves.
I mean, listen, guys. There's a lot going on right now at this table. I got a lot going through my head right now.
Give us some.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because I mean, yeah, like I found my wife in my lowest moment of all time. You know what I mean? I found my wife, and that's awesome. Like,
she's an amazing woman.
She is an amazing. That's what we do at the house when we start feeling good about being married. Yeah. So I found my soulmate. I found my queen, you know, in that moment. We found each other. I'm just gonna move through it really quick, but I got something to say, right? So it's like this. So in that space, like I hear you, young brother. Like I hear you. You know what I mean? I really do. And I hear you too, Kev. But in that dark space, like nothing, like sorry, like bad news, Kurt. Like nothing's getting you out. Nothing's getting you. Like, and I don't want to talk about that. Oh, my babies. Oh, my career. Oh, my life. Oh, my. No, that's horseshit. That's horseshit. If it wasn't, if you had something to hold on to, you wouldn't be in that space.
Wow.
You know what I mean? My baby girl wasn't gonna get me out. My mama told me I can't get you out.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Megan couldn't get me out.
And your mama preacher.
My mama preacher.
And your mama
you know what I mean? Like,
preacher.
I want to talk about that. Like we can talk about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I feel like let's cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, out of the dark place, right? Like.
I disagree. I disagree.
Well, respect, young brother.
The road leads back to two. No man, no woman, no kid, no pet can, but God can. The road leads back to two. And my thing is this. If we understand and connect, man, listen, I just sat down for 3 to 4 months. I took a break. I could have made $4, $5, $6, $10 million. I left it all on a plate to sit down because something in my spirit wasn't right. I sat down. I had to go back home. Got grounded. Stayed in my hometown, the most dangerous city that people crucify. Stayed there, planted my feet there, and went into 112-day seek. Every day I woke up, I went outside with my notebook, and I sat my feet in my grass, and I stood before a tree and in nature, and I just listened. And I wrote down everything. I jotted it. I got a journal. I got 4 or 5 journals stacked over 3-4 months. It's like a Bible. The Most High God fed to me every day, every second. When I woke up, He'll wake me out of my sleep. He gave me dreams, people that I needed to get away from me, snakes, rats, whomever. He put everything under a microscope in my life.
I says, there are times when I can say that my walk with God in Ali has not been enough. And it was hard for me to admit that. There's going to be these views that are not black and white views, but these are our perspectives.
Yeah, but I think
There's so many brothers who find themselves, and I am one of them, you know what I mean, who find themselves in situations and they're hearing in the back of their head, oh, but your baby, oh, but God, oh, but.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's that moment where you look for it, right? And it's not there, and then you jump.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we got to be very careful, famous celebrity people, right? Putting rules down, telling folks this is how it goes. No. That is dysfunctional.
So
right?
let me
The
say that
same way they say,
right.
the same way they say black men should behave a certain way. That's like saying a Christian should behave a certain way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not. It's not fair, right? It's not fair, and it puts that individual in a place where they have no escape.
Why don't you speak to that, Don?
I like how you were transparent, Kurt, because as a son of a pastor, and you're so on point. And I think what Jonathan is saying is you are right. Yeah. It leads back to 2. Yeah. However, man, there are moments that crushes you, man.
Never discredited that.
And they're so crushing that me and him was talking earlier, and I related because what he went through, it's like this, Kurt. You know this. There's something, man, the agony behind dealing with a private matter in a public arena.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That is crushing that this should stay private, but now it's public. You could have called me, and now you had to make that post about, yo, Kev, this. And I think for us as black men, to what you're saying, Jay, is we can't package it and frame it in this manner because, man, life is so nuanced.
It is nuanced.
And
yes,
man,
it is.
you get into a place.
Yes.
And we were talking, because I went through what he went through in 2018 with the young lady I was dating. And I watched people get on social media, and I'm like, it's not true, but I couldn't say anything. And I'm saying, God, where are you now? Right? It was like a Job moment, because you're like, why is this happening to me?
But my thing is well, I said the road leads back to 2. All of these obstacles is for you to strengthen the relationship. That's all I'm saying. So if it's a misunderstanding there, I'm not saying. Hold on 1 second.
I want you to know you're okay.
Yeah, man. No, I'm over good. I know it's no rule. I'm not saying it's a set rule on how to be this or how to be that. Because one thing me and Kirk is a firm believer of is no man of perfection. It's only a man of progress. Right. My thing is the things that I went through. Same thing you went through, same thing you went through, same thing you going through, same thing you go through, same thing. No matter what age or none of that shit. It's all built to create the foundation of your relationship with the Most High. That's why I said the road leads back to 2.
And I think what Jonathan is saying is that in that moment, you can't discern or decipher that.
But
right, it will lead.
In that moment, you can't.
No.
But if you keep
I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick.
Make that connection there.
I think I'm a church kid, and I'm 42 now. And I'm a church kid in the sense of like there was nothing else. It is just Jesus. There's no medicine. There's no therapy. There's no divorce. Somehow, if your husband's beating you, God's gonna everything is God's gonna do it. God's got a plan. Right, that's all you.
That's
have.
what you're dealing with at the table in LA.
Yeah.
See,
no.
In LA's defense, let me just say this.
But I'm not religious. I'm not Christian. I'm not none of these things. I just believe in God. I go straight to source.
Right.
Feel me?
But here's what I want to say.
I get what you're saying. I get how what I'm saying could be.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm just speaking from my experience, not even directly to what you said or what you meant.
No, I receive.
But what John and Jay was saying, it's like when I was young, that made sense, right? I'm not.
What
this is not
made
ageist.
sense? What made sense?
What you're saying? God somehow this is going to make sense because God's going to make sense. God has a plan, and that was true for me when I was young, right? When I got older, and when my brother died, and as a child, it's just God kind of called him home. God had a better plan for him. No man understands God's thing. When I was a kid in that, with somebody else's grandma, somebody else's brother, that was cool. And I'm even telling them that. Yeah, don't worry about it. God's got you. Jesus is here. Jesus, just pray. Jesus died for this. All of a sudden, after 40 years of saying that stuff, and I'm not saying you don't believe it, because I believe it too. Yeah, God's got you, brother Key. I'm praying for you, right? And I'm hearing that until it was me. And then you're looking at God like, where?
But did he have you? Did he? My thing is, hold up. Did God have you though? Did he not?
I don't believe he did. That's my truth.
You said you didn't know then, or you still don't know now?
Still now.
You don't
and
know.
Also in the Bible, people in the Bible were like, Jesus was like, I don't understand what is happening.
It's not meant for you to understand.
Right, but this is what I'm saying though. Hear what I'm saying. In that moment, when my brother, right, and we talking about the celebrity, fame, and all this type of stuff, and I'm sure we all know this, that your circle of like actual trust people that you know if everything about you that everybody loves was gone, the amount of people who will be like, hey brother, you Uber, I don't care, come by the house, we're playing Uno. That amount of people that you really actually trust is usually less than 5 people, maybe 2 or 3 people.
1000%.
Right? For me, one of those 2 people is gone.
1000%.
So now it's like, and then you have people at the church, at the funeral, oh brother, God's got you. Okay, hear y'all, okay? But that person is gone.
Do you know what we're talking about? Let me tell you.
Spiritual bypass.
No.
Is he gone though? Is that person really gone?
That
energy
is dead.
If energy never died,
No.
Let me ask you this, let me tell you what's happening, Kim. Let me tell you what you're dealing with at the table. I'm gonna share something with you.
I'm dealing with the same thing.
But no, and I'm dealing. And I respect it.
I deal with.
And I know that you are.
I deal with the way. I deal with people dying in the most violent way, and I gotta go to their funerals, pay for them motherfuckers, and they mama have to cry on my shoulder.
I'm not discounting that.
I'm not discounting either, but I'm saying.
Well, no. First of all, I am very grateful that the space for conversation is just happening. They was having a chance to talk.
This is actually the conversation.
Yeah, but I do want you to know, and I do want you to know what you're also walking into is because
I know what I'm walking into.
Well, if you don't mind,
Yes, sir.
if I can frame it like this, if you don't mind, just give me a second, and I really appreciate that. You're also talking to people, and I want to go to this with you, Ray J, is because you were raised in the church too. This is what you're also doing. See, you had, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I need you up on this. You weren't raised in church, were you?
My grandmother on my dad's side took my pops to church 3 to 4 times a week, sometimes 2 times a day.
What about you?
I'm a product of that.
Okay.
That veered my father away from church.
Wow.
I wasn't in church every day and all this.
Good,
Every
good.
Sunday. I was not. I can't say.
Which is
but
good.
I still receive what he felt. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's a generational thing.
Yes,
that gets
yes,
passed
sir.
down.
Yes, sir.
So whether I feel it the way he felt it or not, I still feel it secondhand. You feel me?
Well, let me tell you why I said that. It's because I appreciate and love when people did not have to be forced to go to church and have stuff thrown down their throats, because it gives them a different way to paint their picture of the journey.
I get what
So
you're
if you-
saying, but going to church isn't the solution, man.
No,
I get-
I'm not disagreeing with you, King. I'm sharing with you what you're walking into.
And
What's
I
happening at the
receive it. I
table is that
understand.
for a lot of us, let's call it what it is, religious trauma.
I understand
What we're
that.
dealing with a lot at this table is because we have had people make us feel
You
bad.
know why though? It's a thing where you have us here as people, you have God, and then this is what happened. We got to go through all these different things to get primarily the source. Primarily the source. You know what I have a problem with? One of the things I have a problem with, and it may be controversial. A lot of people may say this and may say that. I don't like, let me say it in a manner to where it's extremely intelligent. Let me think on it. In Christianity, it's a thing where people praise the Son more than they praise the Father. And that's what I don't like.
Okay.
Because if we are man made in a likeness, Jesus is our brother. You get what I'm saying? Why would I drop down and praise my brother instead of praising my father? And that goes back to honoring your parents.
I just gotta say something.
Good.
You read the Bible?
I read the Bible, I listen to the Bible. I receive from source straight.
I would say read it again.
Let me ask you a question, Ray J. How has it been for you coming from the space where you had to go through this? You were raised in church. You've seen different things that have not been always good. How have you processed when it comes to dealing with your own journey of health, mental health, trying to be a strong man? How have you sometimes had the conflict of what to pray away and what to go seek help for, how to address issues that you may go through as a black man that is sometimes seeing faith not always in the best way or the right way or the wrong way? Has any of that ever been your experience?
I hate church.
Why?
Well, first off, because they always sit me in the back. And I'm like, damn. All right.
But does it make you not feel good enough?
I mean, I'm way back there, yo. Then they put me in the front of the church, and I'm like in the front, I start sweating, yo. Real bad, like I'm supposed to be at the front. And then, nah, I just was up there like, yo, I'm a real sinner. And then,
we all are. But what do you do, Ray J, when it comes to the journey of trying to find what the solution is for you when you are dealing with those areas in life that are too big for you and they affect your mental health? They affect the emotions that whether you can't pray away or you can't do something away, is because a lot of times as men, you know, we have these things that help get us through, whether it's sex, whether it's drinking, whether it's drugs, you know, and this is historical for us as men. Work, you know what I mean? We've always tried to find something to help us get through.
We need that. We need that. It'll never be a day where we don't have to find peace in something.
like at the end of the day, like I feel you. Like, damn, that shit, it like hurt me. It like really hurt me, like to see what you went through, bro. Because that shit just, that's not cool. It's just like.
To even, like as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about Kev as well, because to watch Kev have to mourn his brother, who I knew that they were so close. This was also his manager.
But was it any like, was it any like when your brother passed, was any malicious stuff that happened? Like what happened? Was it any?
No, so this is the part that feels the most cruel about it. He had cancer, and at the time that he was diagnosed, they were like, this is like a terminal cancer, 5 to 7 years, right? So, man.
Well, sorry, man.
What makes it worse is if he.
Grandfather of cancer.
Well, sorry, man.
Man.
Lost my grandfather of cancer.
Well, sorry, man.
Man.
Lost my grandfather of cancer.
Well, sorry, man.
What makes it worse is if he just got cancer and got sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker and died. Okay, that's what cancer does. You understand that. He got cancer, got sick, and then got better, to where he was back to where he used to be. So we were on a book tour, and I saw him in Houston. We had dinner. Everything was normal, and the night before he passed away, we were texting and calling, and everything was great. The day he passed away, we were talking, we were texting, we were talking about sports. And then my sister-in-law called and was like, your brother had a seizure. And I'm like, what? I still had my phone in my hand. I was like, I'm just talking to him. And I was so disoriented that I had a show that night. And I was like, came home and I was like, I'm going to go to my show. He'll be fine. And my wife was like, I'm going to go to Houston. I think you should come. And thank you. And I'll never forget this. We're flying and my nephew called me on the plane and somehow my phone still rang. And my nephew told me on the phone, he's gone. Wow. This was the last time he was alive. I'm talking to him the night before. We make the New York Times bestseller. Look, thank you, Richard. So it's the highest high. That day is the best day ever. Because it was like we did it. Everything was like we wanted to do this. We wanted to make all this stuff happen. And we did it. And before we could even celebrate it, you're gone.
Jeez.
And then all this stuff starts happening good. And it's like, bro, this is what we worked for. All the stuff, the shows, and it's just like, there's times where I go to text him or to call him and it's like, your brain doesn't even remember. So, and then on top of all that, his responsibilities became mine. So his family, he's the provider for that family. So now all of a sudden I've got to help his wife,
Wow.
his kids.
Wow.
So I'm grieving with y'all.
Wow.
But I've taken on more of a burden, even though we're all sharing the same pain. I'd only been to 2 funerals before that. The 3rd funeral was my brother, and now I have to pay for and plan it. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I've never done any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then I still got to be my own husband, my own wife's husband, my own kid's father. I still got employees. I still got to show up. You know, that's what we're saying, the work part of it. Like, I don't even know what I would have done if I didn't have work. And I'm not even saying I buried myself in work, but it was like, I gotta live, but I also feel guilty for living.
I have a question for you guys, man.